Hi guys, Steve from Vintage Classics. Welcome to video number 70 this week. Never thought I could do enough talking to fill up 70 videos, but here we are. Today I've got a mixture of mainly Hall of Fame baseball and some other non-Hall of Famers, but they were great player cards to show you, and a few recent pickups. But I want to start off this video by saying, and I've mentioned it before, my good friend Jim Bark, became good friends with him through YouTube, watching my videos, and he reached out to me. He's authored 2 books. I've brought him up before. I'm going to show you him again, and he's got a 3rd one coming out. Let's start off by Remembering Henry. Really well written books, enjoyable, not a hard read, but very interesting. And the format is pretty good. He wrote to all these players, in this case, in regards to Henry, who either played with or against Henry. And they spoke about memories of Henry Aaron in this book. But it's a great book. He lives in Minnesota, like I said, and I've gotten to be good friends with him. And here's his picture right here. But a really nice gentleman, very knowledgeable about baseball. I really enjoy his calls. He'll call me out of the blue, and it's typically 45 minutes to an hour, but it's the most enjoyable 45 minutes I've spent on the phone that I can remember. We just talk baseball and things like when we were kids. My era being the early 70s and his being before mine, but we'd just talk about things. It's great to hear him tell stories about the old Milwaukee Braves, going to the games, getting autographs and stuff. But that's one of the books he wrote. The other one was, and I had to wear the Roberto Clemente jersey in honor of this book. It's Remembering Roberto. Former teammates and players from his era share thoughts on Roberto Clemente. Like I said, another really well-written book. Just very, very enjoyable to read. And both of these books can be picked up or obtained through Amazon. And I'm sure there might be some book retailers that have them out there, but definitely you won't be disappointed if you pick up a copy of these. And he's also got one coming out soon on Harlan Killebrew, which I'm really looking forward to seeing and reading, which I'm sure will be great too. So remember that name, Jim Bark, and remember these 2 books, Remembering Henry and Remembering Roberto, and then Harlan Killebrew's book is coming. I'd say within the next month and a half, 2 months. So, but outstanding books. Okay, let's get on to some cards now. Do some recent pickups. I don't have a lot of them. Just a couple I picked up. Here's a 2012 Topps Archives baseball. I know it's not a vintage card, but it's a Dave Ortiz relic card, piece of his jersey. Big Poppy. Back of it. But one of the all-time clutch hitters, especially in Red Sox history. I don't believe we would have won those World Series games that we did, or even made it to the World Series if we didn't have his bat. So that's Big Poppy. Then I went out and got, this is another one that's not a vintage card. It's a 2025 Donruss. It's a red parallel card of Lou Gehrig. It's numbered to 250. It's number 190. As you know, I love Lou Gehrig, so I saw it and I said, I got to have that. It's what they call red parallel. I don't know a lot about them, but it is numbered, as you can see. It's right above the Donruss. Right there, you can see the number. So I figured I'd add this to my collection. That's a 2025 Donruss, red parallel Lou Gehrig. The great Lou Gehrig. I saw this thing the other day on Facebook where they named the top 10 sports movies of all time. And they didn't have Pride of the Yankees in there, and they didn't have one of my favorites, Fever Pitch. But definitely Pride of the Yankees. How you could not have Fever Pitch in there, I have no idea. Remembering that the Titans was number 1, which I saw it. It wasn't a bad movie, but I wouldn't have it in the top 10. Even Slapshot didn't make the top 10. So it was a little bit different, the whoever they surveyed, but Pride of the Yankees definitely should have been in there. All right, and also I picked up a 1975 Cleveland Indians team card. For some reason I didn't have this. It's Frank Robinson as manager, first black manager in baseball history. There's Frank. There's the Indians at Old Municipal Stadium. One of my viewers reached out to me. I'm sorry I didn't make one last Monday. I was changing the room around a little bit to put another shelf up, and did a little rearranging, which I'll show you one day. I'll reshoot the a video of my room in here. But so the museum was shut down for a week. But you know, and in my head the whole time I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about? So, but the one of my viewers from that show 2 weeks ago reached out to me and mentioned how he's from that area, and they still refer to the Indians, Cleveland, as the Indians, not the Guardians, and he believes that it'll be back. I hope so. I mean, the Indians, the Redskins, those were all, you know, classic names that you grow up with, that every generations grew up with. So I'm hoping the Indians do come back, but that's the 75 Indians. Maybe Chief Wahoo won't come back, because that was probably a little over the top, but the team name, I don't have a problem with that. And here's, as you know, there's a 60 card set, Topps Giants, 1964. I've got 40 of them now. This is the 40th one out of 60, so I'm what, 2/3 of the way. This is Jim Maloney of the Cincinnati Reds, pitcher. These are beautiful. Not overly expensive. There's a couple, Koufax and Mays, who I don't have, can get expensive, and I have the Mickey Mantle rather, and that's an expensive one too. In the back is Maloney Fans 8 in a row. It's a newspaper style. I know I've told you about these before, but I saw this on eBay and I didn't have it. So, all right, that's it for the pickups. Now we're going to go into some cards I pulled out to show you this week. Like I said, mainly all Hall of Famers, with the exception of a few outstanding players who aren't in the Hall of Fame. But here's a 1960 of Frank Robinson. Beautiful card. It's in great shape. You know, centering's not bad. It's pretty good. The corners are good. No paper loss. Just a beautiful card. The great Frank Robinson. I just say, Frank blasted 3 home runs against the Phils in a game last August. He definitely was a special player. Okay. Then we got a 1973 of Frank Robinson. At this point, he's now with the California Angels, but he's pictured with the Dodgers. And of course, it's an action shot. Got to show you some action shots. Here's that 73 Topps. Somebody asked me about a week ago, why do you show so many ungraded cards? Well, to be honest with you, most of my collection is ungraded. I've done videos before. I'm not a big fan of the grading process. I do have maybe 200 that are graded. Just that I like them just the way they always were. I don't like the word raw. Should we say non-graded? So, all right. Then we got a 1961 most valuable player, Phil Rizzuto, great Hall of Famer for the Yankees. The Scooter. You know, I wrote to him, and I was a kid, and maybe I meant the truth a little bit. I said my father was a big fan of him. My dad was a Red Sox fan, and I had mentioned it was my dad's birthday coming up, and I had sent 2 cards, and I got them on the shelf up here. He signed both of them. What did he say? Best regards, holy cow, the Scooter. But on one of them he put "Happy Birthday, Dad." So my dad passed away 6 years ago. So that card has a special meaning to me, even though there was a little bit of a fib told in the letter I wrote to him. But to be honest with you, I got the idea from the Brady Bunch when I was a kid. If you remember, that they wrote to, I think it was Joe Namath or something, and said one of them was really, really sick, and it would make his day if I think it was either Joe Namath or Don Drysdale would come and visit. So a little light went off of my head when I wrote that thing, but it worked. So, but here's again, Phil Rizzuto. Sorry if I tell you too many of these stories. I get on these tangents and I get off what I'm supposed to be talking about, but it's funny because you know, I told my wife, I said, I get a lot of people watch my videos. I mean, I know you subscribe, but you never watch them. She says, well, I don't have to watch them. I hear about them every week, every day. So I guess she's right now that I think about it. Here's a 1959 Topps of Enos Slaughter with the Yankees, more notably known with the Cardinals, spent most of his career there. Met him too down in North Carolina. I went to visit my friend from the military years and years ago in the 80s. He was at a high school signing, and we were one of the first 2 people in there. So he was at a table just sitting there drinking a Coke, and I walked up and, you know, started talking. I had a Red Sox shirt on. fact, I might have a picture of that somewhere. Next time I'll show it. Oh, no, it's not within reach, so I won't. I started talking to him, and he said, "Oh, Red Sox fan." I said, "Yeah, diehard Red Sox fan." I said, "You guys beat us in the '46 series, huh?" He says, "Oh yeah, that Red Sox team." He said, "Boy, there was some. What did he say? There was tough birds. They all could hit, every one of them." He said, "The problem with the Red Sox was the pitching." So I said, "Well, that's been a prolonged problem for a long time through the years, but it was enjoyable because I was surprised that there was two other guys signed. One was a NASCAR driver, and I don't remember who the other one was. And lots of people were in those lines. Nobody was in his line." So he actually took his ring off and let me try it on my finger, the '46 Cardinal Championship ring. But it was enjoyable talking to him. The thick North Carolina accent, but really nice guy. So that's Enos Slaughter. All right, the next is two rookie cards of Ryne Sandberg. One's a 1983 Fleer of Rhino, just passed away recently. Great Cubs second baseman. It's a shame. He died young. It was, I hate to see anybody, not just athletes. He was a good signer through the mail. I never wrote to him or anything, but I heard of a lot of people getting his autograph. So that's the late Ryne Sandberg, Hall of Famer. And then the other one is his Topps card, his '83 Topps. He originally was obtained by the Cubs from the Phillies. I don't know. I forget exactly what was involved in that deal, but I'm sure the Phillies regretted that move. All right. Now we got a 1977 rookie card of Bruce Sutter, then of the Chicago Cubs. Great relief pitcher. 77 is a nice set too. I'm actually about, I don't know, 75 or 80 cards short of having the whole set. One of these days I got to work on finishing that. Like I said, I told you before, I'm not a set builder. Years ago I was. Now I buy, when I go, like, we're going Sunday, Caesar and I, my buddy Caesar. We're going to be at the show, and Sunday, it's always the last Sunday of every month in Seekonk, Massachusetts, at the Ramada. So if you're out that way, there's about 40, 45 tables. We're going there, and I'll be looking for cards there. I don't know if I'll pick up some 77, but mainly I'm looking for a 62 Orlando Cepeda and a few other. I got a little small list. Then I got another. I got all these lists over here. The problem with me is I bring the list, I put it in my pocket. When I get there, I just start looking at the cards and I see ones that are on display, and I end up spending the money that I brought with me on those cards. But it's fun. We enjoy it. We're there about an hour, more or less. But just looking at the cards and stuff. It's great having him with me because Caesar's started out probably I don't know, maybe in the last 10 years collecting. I don't know exactly. I'd have to ask him, but it's great sharing some of my experiences with him. And he's listens to everything, and he takes in things. He's got a really good eye for items too, not just cards. Picking up, he got goalie pads. You name it. And he's got a good eye for it. So he's a good friend, very good friend. In fact, right at the top of my list. But I hate to say this all the time, blessed with so many good friends, both that collect and ones that don't. But he's up there. He's a good guy. But here's a '76 Robin Yount. Second year card of Robin Yount. I have his rookie card, not graded. But you got to remember, most of these cards, I'd say, 85 to 90% of the cards I show you I've had since I was a kid, or since they came out. In this '76, this particular one, so they came right out of a pack with me, and they've been through a divorce, some rough times for a little while, until I met my beautiful, wonderful wife, Deb. Now, who's very supportive of me and my hobby. But my cards have been through a lot. They've been with me. And I always tell everybody all this stuff. I'll never sell anything in this room or in my collection. Someday when I pass away, I'll leave it to. We have 3 kids. I have 1 from a previous marriage, and she has 2 from her late husband. But the problem is none of them. I've told you guys the story before. None of the 3 of them are interested in sports memorabilia or cards. But I have 2 grandchildren that are very young, 1 and 3. So hoping I can get them involved in it. So, but if not, somebody somewhere someday will inherit all these things. Will come and get whatever they want. So, but get back on the subject now. Here's a 76 Yonigan, great Milwaukee Brewers Hall of Famer. Here's a 72 Kellogg's all-time great of Cy Young, the great Cy Young. I love this set. What is it, like 15 cards in here? Yeah, 15 cards. I think I have 10 of them. It's another one that I got to work on. I actually have a couple that are graded. But the other thing, again, with Kellogg's, as I told you guys in the past, actually, I did a Kellogg's show one day. They crack. You got to be careful of the cracking. This one doesn't have any cracks in it, but even the ones that are graded, in time, some of them will start to not somewhat curl, but not too much because they're encased, but they do crack. So you got to be aware of that. But they're beautiful cards. I love them. I remember getting these in the cereal. So I wish I would have been smart back then, because they used to have a thing on the back of the box where you could send in, I don't know what it was, $1 or something. It was a small amount, and send away for the whole set, and also an album to put the cards in. But never did it. So what are you gonna do? I wish I could go invent the time machine and go back. There'd be a few things I'd be bringing back to the present day. Here's a 67 Billy Williams, great Chicago Cubs Hall of Famer. Overlooked a lot because of who he played with, Ernie Banks, Ron Santo, Fergie Jenkins, but this guy was a great ball player. So that's a 67. And we got a 1958 Ren Shondis from the Milwaukee Braves here, but mostly played with the Cardinals, St. Louis Cardinals. Great Hall of Famer, too. That's a 58. All right, then we got a couple of Willie Stargell. We got a 1970 of Willie Pops Stargell. At that time, first base outfielder. Great Pirate. Had to represent him by wearing the jersey. Told you growing up, and to this day, my favorite National League team is the Pirates. Second would be the Cardinals. In the American League, yeah, there's nobody at the top of my list any higher than the Red Sox, but I also used to like the Oakland A's when I was younger. And here's a 72 Willie Stargell in action. Nice in action card of Willie Stargell. All right. Next one's not a Hall of Famer, but it's one of my favorite Red Sox of all time and a great player too. Also with the Milwaukee Brewers. It's first baseman George Scott. He's over here on this side. This is rookie card. 1966. The Boomer. They used to call us home runs taters. I remember that. I remember as a kid watching, they'd interview him on TV. Ken Harrelson, one of the announcers, who used to do the Red Sox games back then, talking to him, and they'd be talking about taters. So here's another non-Hall of Famer, but a great pitcher and a great catcher on there. You got the rookie card of Vida Blue and Gene Tennis, 1970 tops. Vida Blue, the great pitcher. If you remember, I got to get back to that series when I showed you a while back a bunch of cards of guys that aren't in the Hall of Fame, but they'd be in my almost Hall of Famers. Well, I did Vida Blue, and he had some impressive numbers. So that's Vida Blue. Next, we get a 1964 of Joe Torre, at that time with the Milwaukee Braves. Hall of Famer, great Yankee manager. Great ball player, too. You don't realize... people always think of Torre as just as a managerial career, but you look at his career as a ball player, and he had some impressive numbers. He played third base, and he was a catcher too. But just a good, solid player. So 64, Joe Torre. Then we got a 1969 of Don Sutton, Hall of Famer from the Dodgers. I guess if somebody asked me what was your least favorite set of the 60s, it would probably be 69. I like it, don't get me wrong, but there's other ones that I like better. But that's a great card of Don Sutton. All right. Next is a signed card. This is a 1990, 88 Pacific trading card. It's Baseball Legends. I had sent it to Duke Schneider, and he signed it. I've had that signed for years, probably since about 1989. Duke Schneider. Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. I'm gonna have to ask my buddy Jim Bark one day who he would have voted for, whether it be Duke Schneider, Mickey Mantle, or Willie Mays. But that was an ongoing debate amongst the fan bases of all those teams, who was the best of the three. But that's great Duke Schneider from Flatbush. Okay. Next, we have another one of those 72 Kellogg's all-time greats. This is the great Honus Wagner. Everybody knows that card. In fact, I have one in the front. So many people come to my room and they see this. My wife got this up in Cooperstown. Obviously, it's not real. But there's the one that everybody would love to have, the Piedmont. I wish this thing was real. but that's him right there in 72 all-time greats, Kellogg's. All right. Next up, we got a 1971 of Dick Williams, Hall of Fame manager. He's pictured here with the Oakland Athletics. I believe he had just come over from the Red Sox. Yes. Yeah, from the Red Sox. So it's airbrushed to look like an Oakland A's, but you can tell by the cap. It's the great Dick Williams. Met him. I got a ball signed by him up here. That's a 71 Dick Williams. All right. Then we got a guy who just passed away within the last year. I think it was maybe 2 years ago. And that's the great, not a great ball player, but just a great personality, great announcer. You guys probably already know where I'm going with this. Outstanding comedian, and that's Bob Uecker. That's a 66 of Uecker. Must be in the front row. The Miller Lite commercial. When he said, was it, there's some advantages to being an ex-big league ball player. And he was thinking he's sitting right down in the front row. He's way up in the very top in the nosebleed. In fact, I think he couldn't go any higher as the very highest row. But Bob Uecker, just a classy guy, funny. You can see some videos of his on YouTube if you look. He's got some great one-liners. But I forget the amount, but he talks about being drafted and the offer that he received. And he turns around and says, yeah, that was a lot of money. My old man didn't have that type of money to lay out. In other words, they'd have to pay somebody to take him. But he's just a funny guy if you get a chance to watch him. Much funnier than I am. So here's a 1975 Topps of Jim Rice. This is his rookie card. He's down here in the bottom. One of my favorite Red Sox when I was growing up. Him and Fred Lynn, the Gold Dust twins. Jim Rice. He does the pre- and post-game show on NESN and New England Sports Network before the Red Sox games. There he is, close-up of him. That's a 75 Topps. And then you got his second-year cards, a 76 Topps with the All-Star trophy, the cup trophy type. Great ball player, powerful. I remember them talking about a story when he was golfing. He's an avid golfer, and he could swing, and he could actually snap the club. That's how strong his wrists and forearms were. But he hit some long home runs. I was at a few games when he hit some way out of the ballpark. That's Jim Ed Rice. Then we got a 1975 of Mike Schmidt, great Phillies third baseman. Was it Jacko Mike Schmidt? Yeah, Michael Jack Schmidt. Sorry, reversed it. Great third baseman. Some people say the best. I'd say one of them. Top three anyways. I'm going to show you the one I think is number one in a minute. But next is a 1970 of the great Pete Rose. It's probably soon to be a Hall of Famer. I'd say within the next few years. That's a 1970 of Pete, Charlie Hustle. All right. I have another Pete Rose in there. I want to kind of keep them in order for you. Here's a 1969, the Sporting News All-Star, Pete Rose. back. Part of a puzzle in the back. These Sporting News All-Stars in '69 were beautiful looking. I've got I wouldn't say all, but I've got a good number of them. All right, then we got a 19, let's do this one first, 67 of my opinion for the greatest third baseman of all time, and that's Brooks Robinson, the Baltimore Orioles. What a nice gentleman, if you ever had a chance to meet him. Great signer. He's, signed for you. That's 1967. All right. Then we get a 1973 of Brooks Robinson, doing what he did best, playing the hot corner, third base, in the picture. And at the back of it. Again, these are just inventory numbers that I have on there for my system here that I filed. All right. Then we got a 73 of Carl Yastrzemski, Yaz. Somebody last week, one of the people reached out to me and said some nice stuff, and they said about Yastrzemski that he very seldom smiles. And it's true. Well, I've met him twice now, and got a ball signed, and I forget what the other thing was, but most of the time he doesn't really make eye contact with you or smile. And even if you look at some of his cards, I started looking through all his cards I have of him, and there's not too many of them where he's smiling. And he's not in this 73 one, but just a great player, though. Great Red Sox ball player, too. Hall of Famer. He had can't even talk. He had the worst job he possibly could have. He followed Ted Williams in left field in Boston. That's an impossible task to do. Teddy ball game. But Carl Yastrzemski was right up there, though. He was my era. I didn't see Ted Williams play, but I did see Yastrzemski play a lot. So, all right, next is a local guy from Massachusetts, great knuckleball pitcher. He won over 200 games. I don't remember exactly how many, but he lost a lot of games too. But he never was on really any good teams, and that's Wilbur Wood. He was 1970 tops with the Chicago White Sox. Great knuckleball pitcher. All right, there's a couple left here. We got a 1974. Oops, there we go. 1974, the great Nolan Ryan. Beautiful card. It's a little soft corner on the top there, and on the bottom, I guess. But I love it. Again, it's been with me all these years since it came out. So the last card today is another Hall of Fame. I rooted for this guy for the longest time to get in the Hall of Fame, and I was happy when he finally got in. That's the great Cardinals catcher Ted Simmons. I always liked him as a kid. I don't know why. Maybe I told you the Cardinals are one of the teams I used to like. But I always thought he should go in the Hall of Fame. Because in my opinion, he's right there with Gary Carter. Now, I know that's going to maybe spark some negative comments, but, you had Johnny Bench was the elite. And nobody was going to be near Johnny Bench. But right below him, I should say, in the National League, you had Gary Carter and Ted Simmons. Those guys were right there. Manny Sanguian to some extent, too, from the Pirates. And I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out, and somebody's going to probably say something, but I was so happy when he got in the Hall of Fame. And in the American League, we had Carlton Fisk and Thurman Munson. So, but there he is again. Ted Simmons, 1974. Then of the Cardinals. So, all right. I think that's all I have today. I'm looking on my desk to see what else I can show you. I don't think I showed you this before, but it's a 78 of Nolan Ryan, 1978. All right. Well, I hope everybody's having a good week. So, it's just starting. Today's Monday, I should say. Hope you have a good week. NFL season's right around the corner. We have our fantasy draft on Sunday too. So I have the card show in the morning and a fantasy draft in the evening. So that'll be a good day. And then I'll be prepping for we do fantasy hockey too, a little further down the road. But I'm hoping to get a couple guys that I like in fantasy. I got all the guys believing in my league that I'm going to draft Drake May. They know I'm a Patriots fan. In fact, I won the league last year, but when I take him as a backup, but he's not going to be my target for my starting quarterback. But it's good to have him believing I am. So But again, I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel. Just through these past, it'll be 3 years in January I've been doing this. It's just been a great time. I enjoy it. It's like that's my enjoyment over the weekend. Is look forward to Monday coming. You know, being retired, the cliche, all the days are the same. Monday's no different than Saturday, but to me, it's an exciting day because I look forward to talking to you guys and showing off cards and reading your responses. And you know, I was shocked to see almost 1,000 people watch that video 2 weeks ago. You know, it's funny because I was telling Caesar the other day, and my friend Dan, another one of my really outstanding friends. It's funny how some videos, you know, you typically get you know, 200, 300 views, and then there's some that spike way up there. I had one or two that hit 3,000. What makes them any different than the other? I guess it's just the subject matter or the timing. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it, and I've learned a lot of stuff from the masters of this hobby, or if you want to refer to it. Some of the great ones out there. Too many to name them all, you know. But there's some really good people creating videos out there. You know, and like I said, always collect what you like, what you enjoy, and what you can afford. I mean, you never want to have a hobby that puts you in a financial strait. You know, so collect what you can, and then you'll find out as you get older. Like, I have more spending cash now than I ever did in my life when it comes to buying stuff. You know, when you're younger and you got a family, you don't quite have the money to go out and spend $100 on a card or whatever, $50 on a card. Whereas when you're retired, especially if your wife's still working, there's more disposable income, shall we say. But it's a great hobby. I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. I can't think of anything in this world that I would rather be involved in than collecting baseball cards and sports memorabilia. Just a special moment. I met so many great people, all of you people that watch me. I consider each and every one of you my friend. But again, last reminder, please support those books written by Jim Bark. Let me show you one more time here. One more quick review. Remembering Henry and Remembering Roberto, and soon to be one out for, I don't know what the title's going to be, but it's going to be Harmon Killebrew. He donates the money to charity, so please, you know, if you have a chance to pick up a copy of these on Amazon, or if you happen to see them somewhere, they're well worth it, okay? All right, well, thank you again. And until next week, have a great week. Keep collecting, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.